So I'm 29 and my sister Renee is 34. She's married with 2 kids, ages 6 and 9. Growing up, Renee and I were close, but as adults we've drifted, mostly because she's always been the type to assume family means unlimited access to whatever you have. Free babysitting, borrowed money that never gets paid back, that kind of thing. I love her, but I've learned to set boundaries. Back in March, I told my family I'd be traveling for 2 weeks for a work trip overseas. My mom mentioned that my apartment would be sitting empty, and Renee jumped on it, asking if she could stay there instead of her place because her apartment building was doing renovations and the noise was driving her nuts. I hesitated. I like my space, and Renee is not exactly known for being tidy, but she promised multiple times that it would just be her, that she'd keep everything clean, and that she'd water my plants and take in my mail. I said okay, mostly because I felt bad saying no to family. I gave her a spare key, showed her where everything was, and left. I came home 14 days later, jet-lagged and just wanting to collapse into my own bed. Instead, I opened the door to find dishes stacked in the sink, some with mold starting to grow, a wine stain on my light gray couch that had clearly been there for days. My mail unopened, some of it soaked because a plant had been overwatered onto the pile. My guest room, which I don't even use, full of toys and a blow-up mattress. Turns out Renee hadn't stayed alone. Her husband was working out of state, so she'd brought both kids the entire time. Not just for a night or two, the whole 2 weeks. She never once mentioned this to me. I was livid, but I tried to stay calm. I texted her asking where she was because she wasn't even at my place when I got home. She told my mom she'd head back over the next morning to clean up. I told her not to bother. I said I'd handle it myself and that I needed my key back. She showed up around 8 p.m. that night and with the kids again, acting like nothing was wrong, saying, "Kids are messy, it's not a big deal, I would have cleaned before you got back." I told her flat out that she'd lied to me about staying alone, trashed my apartment, and that I didn't appreciate being treated like a free hotel. She got defensive, said I was overreacting over a few dishes and that family helps family. I told her that hiding the fact that she had 2 kids running around my apartment for 2 weeks wasn't a few dishes. It was a lie by omission, and I didn't trust her not to do it again. I told her I needed my key back right then and that I wasn't comfortable with her staying with me again. She left upset, and by the next morning my mom was calling me saying I humiliated Renee in front of her kids and that I should apologize for being harsh given everything Renee's going through with her husband traveling so much for work. I said I wasn't going to apologize for wanting my home respected, and that Renee could have just been honest with me from the start instead of assuming I'd be fine with it. Now half my family thinks I overreacted and was needlessly cruel to a stressed-out single-parenting temporarily sister, and the other half thinks I had every right to be upset. Renee isn't speaking to me, and my mom keeps sending me passive-aggressive texts about family sticking together. So, Reddit, AITA? For more, don't forget to follow my YouTube channel, storyforyou.12345. A lot of people in the comments asked why I didn't just talk to Renee calmly instead of kicking her out that night. Fair question. Here's my honest answer. This isn't the first time she stretched the truth to get something from me. 2 years ago, she borrowed my car for a doctor's appointment and used it to drive to another state for a weekend trip. I let that slide because I didn't want drama. This time, walking into a wine-stained, moldy dish apartment after a 20-hour flight with no warning and no apology waiting for me. I just didn't have it in me to be the bigger person calmly. Maybe that makes me the AH for how I handled the moment. But I don't think it makes me wrong for being upset. So there you have it, a guy who just wanted his apartment back the way he left it, a sister who maybe bit off more than she could chew, and a family now split down the middle over some soggy mail and a ruined couch. Am I the asshole for kicking her out on the spot? Or was Renee wrong to lie about the full situation in the first place? Let me know what you think down in the comments. For more, subscribe to my YouTube channel, storyforyou.12345.